Fucking family reunion.
Oh God. What you got? What you got? What you got? Are you drinking a Jaeger bomb?
Yeah. The old Jasmine tea tonight.
Get that bloody shirt a bit lower and do another couple of buttons. Oh.
It's for you and me. Keep that from Wiggy. How was Bruce?
Ah, bloody hell. Amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
so good. So good. Yeah, no, like the whole, I say the whole city, that's a lie. A lot of people were just in Springsteen t-shirts all weekend and
Yeah, I love that.
it's
Festival
sort of,
feel.
yeah, kind of really get that, yeah. And then beautiful day, Croke Park, what a place. Um, like it's in I'd say a bit of a ropey area. Might be doing it a bit of sort of an injustice, but we ended up at this little boozer
Yeah,
um, that was just like some estate pub, the Longboat of Dublin, and they were just playing Springsteen on the jukebox for the hour before. It was just proper. It's just what
perfect.
you want, isn't it?
What you want. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. They
You
finished with
managed to find the most stereotypical thing I've ever seen in my life of a horse in a fucking housing estate.
the
That's
horse.
unbelievable. Does you
We had,
proud.
we had about six pubs in mind around the stadium, and on the main drag, obviously, it was just carnage. It was carnage, and then this little one called the Hideout, actually, and it was just yeah, it was literally hidden away, and it was amazing. Yeah,
Awesome.
and then they finished with Pogue's Rainy Night in Soho, which
Oh,
was
lovely.
special. Yeah,
That is
yeah,
special.
yeah. It's good. It's
Oh,
good.
that's excellent.
Mm.
But is it as excellent as Nick Kershaw playing the Roadmender next month? Also, Kiefer Sutherland's playing the Roadmender next month.
There's a chap I work with, and he is obsessed with 24,
Yeah,
and he told me last week that he every couple of years he watches it, and he's got to watch it again this year because it's 2024. He's obsessed.
did you tell
Sam
him about
song.
a little known show called The Shield?
It's in his top five.
That's excellent. Here he comes. Old Man Some Song. What are you drinking?
I've got an indie rabble,
Oh,
J-
hello.
jazzy can from Massey, um, Unicorn Jeff. Here he is.
Speaking of
Uh,
Unicorn Jeff, evening.
you right?
You've both gone for different. Well, we've seen your background once before, Nick Harding, but Samsung, we're back in the kitchen tonight.
Yeah. I'll just mix it up a little bit. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, yeah, sound lovely.
Gone for some
Cleanest
hit.
entry of the season.
Gone for some different headphones again tonight.
This is
Obviously.
fantastic. Are they new?
No, I found them.
Where? Like in the street?
Right now, right in the office.
In 2012?
Yeah.
The tour
Yeah.
manager been on to start revving things up, get the merchandise on. Is that what we're saying? Episode 4. Start revving up the tour.
How are you, Phil?
Not bad, thanks. Yeah. Selves?
Yeah, good. How was your weekend?
Yeah. It was all right. Busy stuff going on, but yeah, it was all right. How was Big Bruce?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Um, Liz made I don't, you might not know, there's a thing where he does the signs generally, like you have a sign and the requests and all that. So Liz came back from her Sunday morning run with a cardboard box that she'd accosted from a local Nisa and had forced the shopkeeper to rummage out the back for some marker pens, which he found. So yeah, we had a sign. Obviously, he couldn't see it, so it was fine.
I'm forever blowing bubbles. Does that work?
Yeah. It's good. What did you get to Adam?
I watched the
Uh,
boxing at the weekend. It's the only sport I know anything about. So that was absolutely immense.
Good fight, wasn't it?
Oh, cracking fight. Cracking fight. Cracking card. Dave got the pizza oven out.
Oh,
Delightful. Delightful Eve. Delightful Eve. El Vodka did flow.
Just to open up, obviously Bladesy spent all of last weekend saying he wanted to be on the pod, and as luck would have it, thanks to a birthday card from Philip Adams, Bladesy, you're on the pod. So there you go. You've got your wish.
Bladesy, got anything to say?
I'll tell you what he's got to say. Smoker.
Happy birthday for tomorrow.
I mean, celebrate with some hard-hitting cricket, I would imagine.
I mean, I know we're going to talk about wet cricket, but it's supposed to be at T20 in Headingley tomorrow. It's not going to happen because it's wet. Just it rain's ruining the week, isn't it?
Yeah. Right.
Is it playing Pakistan? Or West Indies?
Yeah.
Let's start this off. Welcome to the Thighpad Podcast, a podcast where three people talk about cricket, although you wouldn't have thought so from the first 9 minutes. We all play for the social club, AC Squirrels CC, and demonstrably, we're three muscular men. Welcome. And as has already been hinted at, the last time you heard from us, if you only know us through this podcast, was us getting ready for, well, in the paraphrasing Magsy, a shellacking from Rover pensioners, which never happened because rain stopped play.
Didn't even start play too.
Yeah. When it comes to, because we got told, what, about midday? So it wasn't like we were there and just hoping to play and it just rained off whilst we were there. It was, in my eyes, the ideal early shout of rain halts play. But is that the same with you two, or do you prefer turning up and just talking bollocks for 2 hours whilst hoping to throw a ball about?
As someone who has a 2-hour round trip, I mean, obviously I like my teammates, but an early doors call off is heavenly. And even tomorrow at a professional game, I'm looking at the weather thinking, please, Headingley, just rain now non-stop, because I don't want to. No one wants a faff around, and then I don't think anyone wants that. Me personally, I don't know about you, Phil, but
No, I mean, I remember back in the day, like, many times when the weather would be right, you start, and then obviously you just start off the pitch on the pitch and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit frustrating, isn't it? So. I mean, we've had a couple of good days on tour where it rained off. To be fair, make the most of it, I suppose, in that situation, don't you?
yeah.
But
That's
I think
when you do want it to be off on tour. That's perfect.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But no, I think in that situation, yeah, you just got to get it cool and get it done.
I suppose at least we don't have a complex refund policy as AC Squirrels. That's the beauty of social cricket. So, we'd have to maybe get 5 overs in just to fill the coffers. So we've got a bit more flexibility on the call-off procedure.
Very handy.
Yeah. The only danger is the battered sausage stock might increase if it's a home game, but only by 1, so it's fine.
Which leads us lovingly onto the thing that I wanted to discuss this week. Which is something, well, yeah, I just really want to hear your thoughts about it, because if the one aspect of longer form cricket that I feel I missed out on having never played it, and potentially the only reason that I would have ever thought about playing it, is the fact that you have a full-blown spread halfway through the day when playing cricket, and it's called tea. And it would be good to know some of your tea-based stories. Yep, that's right. We haven't got a man of the match. We've got very little to say about this week's game. Tea-based stories.
Mad, isn't it? I think of it as the effect an evening buffet at a wedding has on the dance floor. I mean, things are just getting going. You have 28 chicken goujons. Mark Morrison comes on. You can't move. It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. Yeah.
So for those that have
think-
never experienced it, what in your minds is a classic tea spread over the years? Has it changed?
Well, go on, you've done a lot more than me, son.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's not a thing. It's not a thing nowadays. Like COVID put paid to that, obviously.
Still,
So
it hasn't come back.
no. Well, I'm only speaking of what I know in Northampton League because
Yeah.
I think they just do the same way. You just take during COVID, you just take your own. And I think basically, I think that got voted in to continue with by that because I think it's just easier for everyone. Obviously, you don't have to try and get someone to actually sort it all out, do it. So I think people just take their own. So yeah, it's a thing of the past. I think I don't know about the rest of the country, but I know locally it's never recovered since the pandemic, unfortunately. But back in the day, so yeah, I mean, my father used to be captain of the team. This is like in the 90s, and back then it was basically whoever was captain. It was, I suppose, a bit of a patriarchal thing that what the wife and the partner would then do the teas every home match. So my Saturday mornings were often spent basically probably watching going live for a couple of hours, and then it'd be buttering probably 150 slices of bread
Nice.
and grating probably about 3 kilograms of red Leicester. Probably, like it'd be a full operation in the kitchen Saturday mornings. Like me and my sister, mum, all of us just absolutely going crazy trying to produce a tea. But that was done like every other week, yeah, and it would just be bog standard stuff. There was no, obviously this was going back probably like 90s really. It was there was no sort of not much choice, not much diversity in there really. It was wheat standard sandwiches, cakes, pork
A lot of
pie,
beige.
crisps, a lot of beige. That's
Scotch
how I
egg,
remember
mini
it.
Scotch egg.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, basically, if you just wrote down everything for a 1990s buffet, that's your lot on it.
Every single
Um,
week.
obviously every other week because you'd be at home
Yeah,
and all
way.
that stuff. So yeah, so that was the thing that I think that yeah, and but I think over time it got probably harder and harder to imagine the partners probably turned around and said, "I'm not doing this every other week so much." So I think it got harder to find people to do it. And then I remember one year they came up with a quite good idea of like each player sort of does it one week. So that's like a 1 week. So and obviously they could do it themselves or they could find someone to do it. Obviously it's up to them. And I think we like pitched into it together, didn't we? Was it me, you, and
It was me and
Pete?
you,
I think.
Wiggy. I was
Was
thinking
it me?
about it.
Was it me and you?
Me and you did a
Yeah,
partnership, yeah.
I know it's me and you. I couldn't remember if we did it with Pete as well, but
No, I think Pete
yeah.
and
So
Pate and Alf had 1 week. They were a pair, we were a pair. I
oh yeah,
remember it
yeah,
vividly.
yeah. So
What do you
presumably,
go for together?
I think we managed. I think we just did probably the same stuff. Really, you had like a budget, didn't you? Did you have like a? I think you had like a budget of maybe like
Yeah, 40
60 quid or
quid
something.
or so,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
maybe 40 maybe.
Something
Yeah,
like that, yeah.
but
Feels
I
like
think
an episode of Can't Cook, Won't Cook.
I think we tried to like jazz it up a bit, didn't we? Didn't we go for jelly and ice cream?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's excellent.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely took the roof off. Maybe.
I think we blew the budget. So I remember like it was a time when, I mean, we weren't doing a big shop. We had no idea
No,
what things
absolutely not.
cost. And we,
No,
we were given this budget
no,
and we didn't know what was going on.
no. I imagine there was a lot of either there was far too much or there was nowhere near it. I imagine that's probably what's happened. But yeah, that's what I remember really. So yeah, very very bland stuff, but obviously just to cater for the needs of old men and young kids playing cricket, I suppose.
That's
Um,
the connection between the two. It's beige food, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
I think Christmas is a very traditional, and maybe that was because of the Dodge effect. I think that was very traditional. Because talking to like people around here, who are playing like the Peterborough leagues, the talk of like an Asian buffet, like some of the Indian teams, like it sounds unbelievable.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
and we never had that, did we? I don't think we ever.
I don't remember having that
Um,
away, like even that away, really.
no,
But I imagine in the last few years before COVID, I think I do remember a few occasions that was umpiring or something like that, and you'd gone to places like maybe predominantly Indian players, and like I said, they've done like curry or all that kind of stuff, and like
yeah,
proper Indian buffet. But obviously everyone loved it, so I think it probably evolved quite a bit.
yeah.
You'd hope so anyway.
I think you've already answered
pre-COVID.
my next question, which is, was there a particular away day that you look forward to because they did a cracking tea? Or was it
Yeah,
all
there
pretty
was,
similar?
yeah, there would be a couple. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but there's always like a couple that did like mighty spreads, and I think it was the ones that used to go crazy with the desserts, didn't they? I think that was always a bit of a high point, like homemade cakes and homemade gatos and stuff coming out. And obviously, if you're fielding second, that's a big ask, that, isn't it? To be able to try and not fill your boots with that. But yeah, I think those were the highlight. Those that sort of stick in the memory would be the ones that would, knock out a bit of homemade desserts.
Decent pudding.
The rest of it would be pretty similar, really. So yeah, there's always a couple, but I couldn't. Yeah, so.
It was a badge of honour, though, wasn't it? I remember, like, no matter how good you were at cricket, ability-wise, you could always try and win the battle of the tees. And it was a proper, you go for a good tea. There were so many people who took pride. And it was such a social event as well, because it was kind of, I remember as a youngster coming in, just a bit of bonding over tea. It was really nice. Like, got to mingle, got to chat about, what people chose first. How many, did they go? Maybe pork pie or quiche. It's good talking points. It's good. It's good.
I genuinely believe that the only thing that I would ever be competitive around cricket would be making the best tea. The idea, I can't tell you how excited I would have been to come to your tea and Pate and Alf's tea and judge and mark both of them. That sounds like a great time to me. I'd give up me all Saturday to do it now, I think.
It was good. It was good. And I guess as a youngster, I do vividly remember just buttering slices of bread and Jesus Christ. I still remember that, being stood in your kitchen and looking at, and I don't know how many loaves we had, let's say 10. And I just remember they weren't going anywhere.
That seems a lot.
Maybe it was a lot. But yeah, no, it was bloody good. But
how did it feel being in the kitchen with an old pro like Samsung?
Oh,
I bet there was nothing he couldn't do with a butter knife at that stage.
Well, I mean, I can't remember. I presume my mum would have been overseeing things. I would have hoped, rather than just let us loose to do that, because it wouldn't have happened, would it? We'd have probably turned up late. Yeah, it was good. It's just one of those traditional things, isn't it? To be fair, it's pretty mental that they still do it now, isn't it? In the professional game, they actually go off. Like, obviously, they're all athletes, and they go off and have in the middle of the game, they just go and have. Obviously, I'm guessing, especially some of the grounds, be absolutely wonderful food.
It'd be bonkers,
food,
yeah.
So,
but the whole thing, like, if you take a step back, or if you're not into cricket, all of it still seems ridiculously mental tradition.
Yeah,
like, the fact that there's a sport where people still wear trousers is fucking insane. So it just kind of moves on from there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I was researching earlier, and I found at the Breedon Cricket Club website, who have put on a guide to the perfect tea, like even to the amount of loaves of bread. They've put their staple sandwich fillings, and they've put sausage brackets good in rolls. They've put a sample shopping list that even specifies 2 packs of 10 jam tarts. And yeah, they've put in like a space guide for the fridge, for how much cling film you need, the Tupperware containers. It's unbelievable. So that's a social club, and there's it's a 6-point guide, and point number 6 on the guide, it says, you've done as much as you can. Your efforts will be appreciated. Just smile. And that's lovely. Well done, Breedon Cricket Club.
To be
very
fair,
well done.
Going back to your point of memorable teas, I mean, obviously that tea that we had on tour last year at Sandy for Cricket Club.
Yep.
I mean, thinking about it back, I mean, that I think that would be a bit of a high point if you were in their league playing sort of, or even if you played for that club and had that, you'd be happy with that one. That was a fair.
Frustratingly, I can't remember any of it because I was a
No,
little ill. But
yeah, I'm not sure about the vegan options either. To be fair, but
well, I know they're better than the tour before. I can guarantee they were better than the tour before.
yeah, and I think that's probably something that's not caught up with cricket yet. Is that veganism's probably not entered cricket maybe that much yet.
Even our club.
I'm going to say we've all come across with that a few times.
That's the other thing with the tea, isn't it? Like, the both tours we've had. Let's say both tours. The last two.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember Jane from 2 years ago. 4 vegan options, but what a character! And the two ladies from Sandyford, like the pride taken in the preparation and the spread. I remember walking into the kitchen at Sandyford last year, and the ladies produced some mini Yorkshire puds with beef. And they said, "Will your lads like these?" Yes, they will.
99% of them would.
Well, 10 out of 11.
99% of them would. But
fair,
have you got one Yorkshire with tofu? Yes, we have. Cheers.
Do you remember anything? You don't remember anything about that tea then, Mo, last year?
I genuinely don't know.
Because I've got a feeling that I think I might have spoken to him beforehand and saying that about a vegan option, and I can't remember what they.
No, I do remember. Sorry, I take it back. They didn't say anything, so you bought me a pot noodle.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's right.
I bought you pot chips, so I had my own special meal.
Yes, that's right. And then, but because you were ill, you didn't eat them, and then you just had them for lunch at work the next few days after.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, lovely, very tasty.
Yeah. Wicked Kitchen, wasn't it?
That was it. Wicked Kitchen. Yeah, I'll for it by name. Yeah. Tesco's own brand.
Good one now. Yeah.
What's the best? Is the last year's tour, is that the best tea you can in living memory?
I think so, because the thing that stood out and you mentioned it earlier, Wiggy. The two things I think that kind of stand teas apart: the hot options. If you get a warm offering, that's really good, and the puddings. Some homemade puddings, excellent, and the hot options in Sandyford were superb, weren't they? Absolutely superb. Unless you're vegan.
I mean, mini roast beef Yorkshire pudding sounds like that is the type of thing that you take pride in. That's excellent. Yeah, that is excellent.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like going back to the people that do the teas, because the only couple of times I've experienced them have been on tour, the last couple of tours, and they do seem, Jane from 2 years ago and the two that did it this year, they do seem to be the connection of getting everybody talking, because you're playing against these guys, and there's always, I mean, last year they were pretty good. I remember them bringing shots out beforehand and that type of thing, but generally there's kind of this weird, we talk but we don't really connect. The only time you seem to connect is when you're all talking to Jane about how come she hasn't just done one bread roll without fucking butter, or whatever it might be. But
it's such a good and that's the thing, like, it's so. Yeah, you're mingling in a queue. It's weird, but it's just social. And then you trudge out back to Battle. Not really fancying it, but yeah.
To be fair, I'll be intrigued to know the teas nowadays. Obviously, COVID, post-COVID, what people take. So for now, you're absolutely left to your own devices, aren't you? Do people just rock up with a Tesco meal deal, or do some people?
Well, Brian said, I think they do. He was saying at Holston they take a meal deal. Which, what's the point? I don't know. It's just pointless, isn't it?
I genuinely feel angry about it, and it's got nothing to do with me. But I can tell you right now that if I was playing cricket and there was a vote that said just bring your own packed lunch, that would be me quitting the club, because I genuinely don't see the point.
But what would you take them on? So say you were playing on a Saturday and it get voted in.
I hate cold food, which won't help if I'm having to bring my own. So I'm going to either bring a sandwich or a wrap that I'm not going to enjoy. I'll probably just have some grapes and a Lucozade.
I hope they've got a microwave, maybe.
In which case,
not for the grapes.
Vegan rustler.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. I'm not sure what I'd go with. Really, probably would be a pretty bog standard thing because I think left to your advice, you're thinking I could potentially be have to be running around a little bit after this.
I've often thought
Maybe a pasta dish.
if it wasn't for the fact that I don't particularly, I'm not a massive fan of cooking meat if I can avoid it. I've often thought about putting my hand up and saying I'm happy to do a variety of teas for Squirrels home games over, like, I would genuinely enjoy that. And the couple of times that I think we did it a couple of years ago before they got the new barbecue where we do, I remember being in charge of cooking 12 pizzas or something like that for one of the games. And I was thinking, if I could get my hands on this full time, I could do some interesting stuff. But, you know, nobody wants, not many people want spicy tofu rolls, do they?
I
think people would be appreciative of the efforts. I don't know, put it out there.
You talk about like
I say that they won't, but you just get shot down.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say in the social world we're in now as Squirrels, no one's doing a better tea than us. I mean,
I think, yeah, like
vegan aside, we are the Rolls Royce of it's unbelievable. Like the bread is made from like Michelle Roux's bakery. We got meat from Jimmy's farm. It's insane.
the quality of meat is insane. It's ridiculous. The quality of burger that you get on there, it's unbelievable.
Even like the stringency of the barbecue, and I'll never forget the time when we brought out the wrong barbecuing implements, and there was it was nearly a helicopter.
Oh yeah,
overhead.
Fucking hell.
But I think we do. Bloody hell, we do it well. I don't know where it comes from, but I've seen a WhatsApp group photo of a door where you pick the rolls up from. It's like some episode of Crystal Maze, but they're good. Very good.
Crystal Maze meets The Wire, meets Great British Bake Off, meets The Shield. What a show. What a show. Yeah, because that is the other thing that irrelevant, like, to be fair, I've always thought that apart from last season where there was, let's call it miscommunication, and there were a couple of weeks where there was no vegan option at the home games, I was genuinely touched that I was remembered as often as I was when I turned vegan, because like you don't expect anybody to change what it is they're doing for the majority of people just because you've decided that you don't want to eat meat anymore or dairy. And I used to enjoy it. I've got like fond memories of not knowing what chappie or pate was going to turn up with. I mean, it was going to be a burger, but there's still a lot of variety of vegan burger out there. So yeah, I enjoyed those days, but I'm also perfectly happy to bring my own and slap them on the griddle. But just on that point, RTs tend to go from the barbecue with the prime rib beef steaks, Domino's, king of takeaway pizzas, or chippy tea with a battered sausage. So for one.
Yeah.
That's good. Top tier. And when we go other places, the only teas I can remember two teas from the other places. Most don't do them, I think. There was one a few years ago where when I was just vegetarian and Wiggy convinced me that something that they gave us was halloumi and it was chicken. So that was good. I remember that one. And the second one I remember was last year, the game that we're playing this week. The only thing I remember about that fixture last year, other than the fucking horrible changing rooms, more on that later, was the fact that they had a vegan in their team. So they'd done some vegan sausages. And that was a real treat.
That's excellent, yeah. Because the other thing about, it's kind of related, but when people take food to live cricket as well, which is another interesting topic. And I remember when I think we were at Trent Bridge, Wiggy, when someone produced a 12-piece cheese board on a slate board with different chutneys, and it was absolute pandemonium. And they were just passing it down the aisle at Trent Bridge. And we divvied up our at lunch selection, and Wiggy had produced some of the driest rolls. It was unbelievable.
No, they were large Baton baguettes, weren't they? Which were too big, really, each. And then I was it the same game when I just had a big box of radishes,
Loads of them.
Fucking hell.
and then but
Good to get the
limo
radish back in, isn't it?
limo without asking me first, just offered them to the people in front. I thought it was
Never, ever, ever offer out Philip Adams's radishes without checking with him first. That's a rule we're all brought up knowing.
I mean, just one more thing on that. I went to a match a couple of years ago at Trent Bridge, and the guys in front of me, he bought this massive block of blue cheese, and he just had that, and then he just had a massive bag of celery, and he's just using the celery as the spoon, and that's all he ate all day, was just using the long stick of celery as the shovel, if you like, blue cheese in. And I think I watched him probably 75% of the match. It was unbelievable. I just couldn't get over it. I was just like, I like it, but like, that's mental, isn't it?
That is mental. That's excellent.
I mean, to be fair, he's thinking, obviously, he's really thought about the waste, I suppose, whether or not have to have any rubbish at the end of it. Because basically, everything's getting eaten.
This is good from someone who's I've watched you put Philadelphia on a bagel with a bank card on a bus in New Zealand. So, I think...
but that was needs must. This guy had chosen to do.
Yeah. The amount of times that needs must that you need to have that Philadelphia bagel, even if it means using a bank card, is that or starvation.
It's a good spreader to try it.
Talking about teas and rain, I remember me and Liz were at Edgbaston, and it pissed it down all day, and we got loads of food. We were sat there drunk, and we started throwing Melmoby pork pies around at people in the stand in the Hollies, and one hit this guy. Sure. I think it was this actually hit this guy on the head, right on the bonds, about 4 rows in front. He's like, bloody hell, what's that? He saw it on the floor, bent down and ate it. I thought that is cricket right there, isn't it?
I think what's happened there is someone's thrown a pork pie at you. You've bent down and ate it. Liz has thrown a pork pie at you for being an annoying drunk at the cricket. Yeah, it's a funny old game, but yeah, it's quite an interesting topic, to be fair, isn't it?
Oh, that's excellent. I mean, this could be our longest podcast yet, and it's 90% tea based, and I have never been as infused about the conversation. So thanks for that. I've got a confession to make, which is I have decided with absolutely zero. I was thinking about this when you put me right today, Phil. I don't know why I've been so convinced of this, but I've just decided that because whatever game 4 was last year has to be game 4 this year. So I've just been looking at, I don't know if I've just lucked out the first 3 weeks because away at fucking Blisworth wasn't game 4 last year, basically. So I've done some notes about a completely different game, which is Blisworth at home last. So I can tell you about that, but I can't really tell you much about this.
You're not a million miles away from it.
So what was this fixture last year, Phil? What happened? Talk us through it.
God. Well, I was supposed to play that. I dropped out of the game due to a.
That's the other thing that I can remember you dropping out. But I can't remember who replaced you late doors.
No one. We had 10.
Oh yeah.
I found the scorebook earlier. And Blisworth scored 166 for. Oh no, is that the one? This is the wrong one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one I had. 125, I think, in this game.
So we scored 123 for 7. Pooley 27 not out. Foster 22. Kerr 21 not out. And then they got the runs in 18.50. So quite a tight match. just one over to spare. Yeah, we always have fairly quite. I think we always have fairly quite close games against these. To be fair,
So we
seems to
lost
be,
home and away last season.
yeah, they beat us heavily at Crispins.
Yeah.
Beat us by 45 runs, which for us is quite a defeat. They
Yeah,
scored
that's
100.
the trouble.
They scored 166 against us last year at home.
Bloody hell.
So yeah, but I mean Blisworth. Yeah, I mean this. Yeah, it's not the best ground in the world, is it? Obviously,
It's potentially my least favourite away ground.
yeah.
I don't
They haven't.
understand why there is so much mud caked on every part of the away changing room. I don't
Well,
understand why they don't have showers.
Well, it's well apparently so. That's all been knocked down anyway.
Oh,
That's why
okay.
there's no showers available tomorrow. But it's been rebuilt for the football season because the football club obviously played there, so it won't be ready. It's not going to be ready.
But
until
that's the best news I've heard, because next season, who knows?
Well, yeah, and I think the ground is just not the best because no regular cricket gets played
Yeah.
other than us. So the outfield is just obviously kept to a fair standard. It's a matte wicket, isn't it, as well? So yeah, it always seems a bit overcast and cold over there. If I've ever played over there and it's actually been sunny.
There never seem to be enough chairs, and you've got to take them a long way
Yeah,
away
yeah.
from the clubhouse to sit and watch.
Yeah, but they do always, they're a good bunch of lads, and we
Yeah.
always get good fixtures against them. So
Yeah.
sure, it'll be a good game. But you're the only one of three of us playing, aren't you, Adam, tomorrow?
Yeah.
Nick is obviously celebrating his birthday in Leeds,
In the rain.
hopefully.
What are the
So, yeah.
chances it gets rained off tomorrow? If it's a matte wicket, do you think less chance?
Yeah, less chance, yeah, because obviously, it's as long as the outfield's not underwater, you'll be right, and as long as it's not actually raining, then you'll be right.
Lovely stuff. My personal goal is to get close to a catch. I'd like to get a catch on the board for this season.
Have you not you've took one before, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've taken a couple, not too
Oh
many.
yeah,
Not too. I can tell you about catches I've taken. No, you worry about that, Phil. But yeah, no, I'm. It would be nice. I think that's my favourite thing to do is grabbing a catch out of the air. I think that's fucking brilliant. I think I prefer. No, I don't prefer that to smashing the wickets. But yeah, it's close.
Smashing the wickets. Nice.
We're going to need your bowling tomorrow, Mel. Good lineup though. We've got a good strong lineup.
So with that in mind, have we got predictions? Most runs, most wickets, man of the match?
Let's have a look. Most runs. I'm going to say Speedy's going to continue his fine form. I think he's
excellent so far, isn't he?
He's in the zone.
Got his eye on.
Most wickets. I'm going to say.
Hello,
Elizabeth. Oh, nice one. Most wickets. I'm going to go for Mark George tomorrow.
I'm going to go most runs. Clues.
Nice.
He played well on the mat at Baton, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Some nice shots that game.
Matt
I'm going to say wickets. Massey.
Nice.
Adam.
I'm going to go for Gareth Foster most runs tomorrow. And I'm going to go Dave House most wickets. I think he's got something to prove.
Oh.
We need it not to rain tomorrow because, I mean, we've done the big tea chat to fill a bit of time. Fuck knows what's going to happen next week. If this is rained off, maybe one thing to add, I got a new pocket size calculator this week.
Nice.
One hell of a pocket.
Usually I log on Zoom as the Casio DS2L Silent Touch. It's it's hurt me shoulder picking it up. It's unbelievable. Maybe that could be the new thigh pad. That's absolutely massive, isn't it?
That's ridiculous.
Oh, another thing. Sorry, I forgot to say this. In the birthday card from Philip, got some bloody branding in it.
It's amazing, that. That's absolutely amazing. Good work, Phil. Bloody good work.
Smoker.
Thanks for joining us this week. Thank you very much for watching the Thigh Pack podcast. Thank you from me, Adam. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.